Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the very first edition of Progress Over Perfection podcast, where we discuss all things lifestyle, fitness, health, and all that sort of stuff. So ignore the medals, ignore the shorts, and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
There's-
ignore his showing off stuff. We know he's accomplished in bodybuilding, but this is for everyday people, for you guys who, you got busy jobs, family lives,
Mm.
just getting into the gym. This thing's for you.
It's literally how can we make progress and still have a life and still, tick the boxes, still progress in the gym, without, just eating chicken and rice, quite simply.
Yeah, going out, socializing, what to eat whilst you're out, socializing with friends, family, like events. Can you get alcohol into, your weight loss journey and things like that and staying fit? So that's what it's going to be about. And hopefully you get some little knowledge bombs that you want to take from this. If
Thanks.
not, we've done it for fuck all and shit's a giggle. So why not?
Yeah, but before we even get started, make sure you subscribe. We've got a brand new YouTube channel. If we get the views up, we'll get it onto Spotify and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you subscribe, comment your questions below, and yeah, make sure you engage on Instagram and all that sort of stuff as well. But before we kick things off, a little introduction to who we are. So I'll let you go first.
Yeah, no worries, man. So I'm Louis. I've been literally coaching and in the fitness space for most of my life. Coaching wise, I've been doing it like 15 years in person, as well as now over the last few years, branching out to online, helping people who compete, but also everyday people, people on weight loss journeys, people with medical conditions. So, my knowledge is quite deep, but again, it's not just towards one set of people. So I can help a lot of different people with a lot of different aspects in their life.
Yeah, so it's very similar to me. So I'm James Waters. I'm old. So when did I became a PT at like 21. Before that, I was playing football. I was in the gym from 16 in college. PT just automatically sort of just translated to coaching, started competing, and I work with, like Louis, just a handful of loads of different people. And I actually love it because, I don't get loads of check-ins that are the same. And I find I wear like a different hat when I'm talking to different people. So if I've got a competitor, oh, I ate this over. I shouldn't. Well, why? Like, what are you doing? And then if someone else says that, who's a lifestyle client, I say, okay, cool. Don't worry about it. Let's get back on it. Maybe next time we can macro track it, or how can we fit that into your meal
Yeah.
plan to move forward? So it just
Yeah,
keeps
no,
me entertained, and I really enjoy it. So, yeah, this podcast, like I said, is all about just helping you. So if you're here, it's about helping you, quite simply. Um, so anything you want to touch on, or do you want to just jump straight into questions, or?
up to you, man. You want to let's just jump into some questions first off. You want me to hit you with the first one, or you want to hit one out?
Let's let you start. So then I'll ping a question at you.
All right. I got
Yep.
my first question I got sent was, how do I go about getting back into the gym after I haven't been for a long time?
I
For
feel like,
me, the main thing is you've done the hardest part. You've got back into the gym. Like a lot of people will freeze up when it comes to, oh, I need to get back into the gym. That's the hardest part. Getting into that routine of whether it's once, twice, 3 times a week, first starting getting back into the gym and doing some form of exercise is always going to be the hardest part for me. That's what I found with a lot of people. They haven't been in a while, they're anxious, they're nervous, they think people will look at them. But in reality, the gym's the most selfish place in the world. Everyone's there for themselves. Nobody's looking at you. Everyone's looking at them fucking selves in the mirror. And that's the truth of it. So the hardest part I would say would be getting back into the gym first.
I completely agree. I know people have a lot of gym anxiety and stuff like that, and I get it as well. Going to like new gyms, there's like people looking at me. I don't know them, I don't recognize them, sort of thing. And like, are they looking at me? And it's like they're thinking the same things that you are. Are you looking at them? But everyone in the gym is there for a purpose. Whatever their goal is, fat loss, to build muscle, to just mentally de-stress. And everyone's kind of like you said, they're not selfish, but like they're locked into their own little world and just trying to get where they want to be. But I completely agree. The hardest thing is just getting back there. So even if your first few sessions are just half an hour, 40 minutes, and you just get back into that routine of going to the gym, that's the biggest thing. And then from there you can start doing, full on sessions like you used to do, and building back up that strength, building up the numbers and whatever else you're doing in the gym.
And then I think also with when it comes to regards with food, people think, oh, I'm back at the gym, I need to eat everything needs to be clean, everything needs to be perfect there and then. I think the main thing is getting structure in place, making sure you're hitting 3 good meals a day. Breakfast, obviously, if you're at work, having a good lunch, and when you get back home, making sure you have a good dinner. And I think that's the main thing. Most people, they think straight away they need to jump on a diet, when in reality, you just need to make sure you've got some sort of structure with your nutrition.
I think like, how do I put it? Like once you go to the gym, you kind of flick that switch and you start to think about eating a bit healthier because, oh, why have I just dragged myself to the gym to then eat, 2 chocolate bars? You kind of have that little flick and switch, even if you're not necessarily got a meal plan or macros, but that the food choices just instantly kind of get better.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Like you go from, all right, I finished work, I'm going to get McDonald's, to, oh, I'll go home, I'll have, I don't know, we'll get some lasagna or some pasta with chicken, or some vegetables or whatever. Like you say, I think people just flick a little switch and they automatically start to eat a little healthier.
I also think, see, that goes on to like my next point. Like people will go, cool, I'm in the gym, I'm gonna go all guns blazing. If they're on a fat loss journey, I'm gonna drop all my carbs, I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna chuck everything at it, but it's not sustainable.
No, they fall off after a week or two. You fall off because you literally put yourself in a position that you're not comfortable with. You haven't been in it for a long time, so your first reaction is, as soon as things get hard, you drop it.
Mm.
Where if you implement small changes as you get back into it, like we say, structuring meals, having 3 meals first, and then gradually, obviously, watching what calories you eat. But the main thing is getting some sort of structure in place, I would say, would always be one of the key aspects of first getting back into the gym.
See, for me, because if you think about it, right, let's say they have someone X is having, Jimmy's having, 4,000 calories a day, and he goes to the gym, but 4,000 calories, mostly shit food, and he goes to the gym, he can still make progress, still eating that shit food because he's now increased his expenditure. He's now going to the gym, maybe he's doing some cardio, he's burning more calories, So then, even that one little step in just getting back in the gym is a massive win anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say you're going to go and eat 4,000 calories worth of shit, but it's like James says, getting back into the gym and getting back to it is going to help your expenditure straight away.
Yeah. So just whoever this person is, just get back in the gym. Sometimes it's easier to sometimes it's easier to just do machines first because you're kind of in a section where people aren't moving around too much. You're not going to free weights, people are carrying things over, you're in people's
Yeah,
way. So if you just get on a couple of machines, leg press, a chest press, blah blah blah, do a few
get
things.
moving. Like,
Yeah,
just get moving again. Get
yeah.
moving weight from point A to point B. Get the muscles, remembering what it's like to get some stimulus, and the results will start to come. And then as you get further into it, then you can start implementing other things that make it a little bit more difficult for yourself.
But you'll also find that enjoyment once that routine's back. You kind of enjoy going to the gym, and once you set out a routine, which I think is really good, like not everyone's got it written down, but Monday to Friday I'm going to work. Saturday, I've got the boys' football. Sunday, I've got family roast or whatever it is. If you start to prioritize your training, so Monday evening, straight after work, I'm going to go to the gym. Tuesday, I'm going to do a run or whatever it is. Once you start putting those either in your head or in your calendar, it becomes a bit more real when you're more likely to stick to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And obviously, the other main thing is, if you've got a stressful job, use the gym as an outlet for the stress, and that's usually the biggest driving force, where you're going to be able to get a little bit more out yourself. If you've had a shit day at work, you can go into the gym and you can just let that shit out. And I think that is a big driving factor when you get back in there. Use things that are dampening your spirits to make you go and eat more, or that you're feeling down, and obviously things that could cause you to obviously gain more weight. Use that as a tool to help you lose that weight and be fitter, stronger, and just become better.
Yeah, because the gym doesn't have to be a fat loss tool or a muscle building tool. It can just be a mindset
Stress relief.
tool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stress relief. Like,
100%. It might
literally just go out.
keep you away from your partner for a few hours.
Yeah. So, right, what's the next question you got
Yeah.
then?
How much should a client be worried about scale weight? How often should you weigh? Is it sometimes better to not weigh at all for a period of time? For example, if my motivation can dip if I look at the scales and there's not been much of a budge, or on the other hand, if I've had a big dip, it can really keep me on it. So, like, how
See, for
often
me, I
should I
would
weigh?
see. I This is a tough one because obviously it's all person dependent. I find that obviously some lifestyle clients love having a weigh-in. They love knowing numbers, whereas others get too hooked upon numbers. And like you say, it dips their motivation. Whereas I would say to certain clients every month, yes, sometimes I do only have once a month they have a weigh-in, but go on how you look and how you feel. Because you can go to the gym, your weight could not move, but then you look in the mirror and you look completely different. Your body composition changes because you've gained a little bit of muscle, dropped a little bit of body fat. So, I mean, scale weight, yes, in certain terms, it is a good tool, but it's not the be all and end all. Like, so I wouldn't always worry about that.
Mm. Yeah, I completely agree. It's very person dependent. So depending on the client I'm be working with, some I'll be happy to be okay. A reminder, your weight will go up and down, fluctuations based on, digestion, hormones, hydration, inflammation, all the other stuff. So, but if a client can manage seeing that going up and down through the week, then great. It's even more data. It's fantastic. But if I know that's going to throw you off and you're going to be, messaging me disheartened that it's gone up today, and then you're kind of celebrating that it's gone down tomorrow, it just leaves this wave of emotions based on a scale. Whereas if, like you
Yeah,
said, if your
it's
clothes fit better, if your pictures look better, if your general mood and energy and training feels better, then you've won.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think, like you say, I find obviously females usually, a lot of my female clients will usually pick up on weight gain and things like that. And it all depends on time of the month for females as well. Like,
Mm.
you know, certain times of the month where you are going to hold more water, you are going to be a little bit more stressed. So that's where looking at the weight, just leave it alone a little bit and just go on how you look and how you feel is really what I could say about that. Again, it's so person dependent, it's unreal.
But I say I like them to still check in, even if they
Yeah, of
have
course.
water. I like them to still take their weight because then, you see, oh, we're up a kilo this week. Cool. Where are you in your cycle? Cool. Next month, we know you go up about a kilo. There's nothing to stress. After it passes, we go back down and beyond. So it's just extra data to collect. But in the same breath, if it's going to completely throw you, I've had clients in the past. I'd be like, just don't check in this weekend. Not a problem. Just crack on as we are. Keep doing the same things. Is training going well? You feeling good? Cool. Just carry on. We see where we are once it's all passed in the following week.
Yeah, that's strong. Right, and the next one, what we got? How do I start my weight loss journey, and what are some key things to help me start? I think really with this question we covered it. Really, it's the same as how do you get back into the gym. But again, I think the main thing for new people in the gym is gym anxiety, because most people, the perception of it is everybody is very judgy. So I would say try not to worry about people. Go in there. And usually, if you're first going into the gym, even if you follow an influencer, go online, download a program just so you have a set standard to follow to start. And once you start, you'll find a passion for it and you'll find a buzz for it, and then you'll enjoy it more. And then, like we've already said, you will go through the change of I like going to the gym instead of the gym is a chore.
Mm. See, for my take on that question is just try and track what you're doing. So whatever you're eating, most people eat the same thing every day, even if it's a bit of crap. You're kind of consistent. We all like, the same sorts of food. So your breakfast might be Starbucks and croissant, and then your lunch is a meal deal, and then dinner is like a home cooked pasta. Just kind of track that. So work out how many calories you're eating from there. How many times you go into the week? You're doing cardio, what's your average steps? And then you've got like a baseline of where you are, and then just make your adaptations from there. So if I'm eating 2,500 calories, if I drop it, let's say 10%, I'm eating 2,250, I'm in a deficit, I go in the gym at the same rate, my fat loss should start to trend in the right direction. And then if you start to tidy up the food sources, the food choices, and all that sort of stuff, you see even more. Um, yeah.
And I think the one tool that pretty much everyone nowadays has is either a smartwatch or a smartphone.
Mm.
If you don't know about your steps, you've got your smartwatch, have a look at it. Or if you've got your phone in your pocket will track your steps.
Mm.
So if you're not too sure on steps and obviously what you're getting every day, just put your phone in your pocket all day and you'll be able to calculate that from that. I mean, smartwatches now, pretty much most people have them,
Mm.
which is also a great tool to help you start. Again, measuring expenditure is obviously the first thing that you want to do, and then obviously calculating what you're eating and how how much you need or how much you don't need
Yeah.
based on what you want to do.
Well, I should probably add to that. Like, obviously, I said you might want to drop your calories, but some people eat not enough
Yeah,
calories. You need to like
yeah, and
just
I think
invest in where you are. That's
that's
the
a
first
massive
step.
thing as well. I
Yeah.
think for most people, when they actually start going to the gym, they realize that they think that they're eating a lot of food, but then in reality, when you actually look at it, they're eating so far under what they actually need.
Mm.
And then they think that, oh, if I drop even more food, I'm going to lose even more weight, and it's just the body's not going to function to its optimum levels.
The amount of times I've had a new client start, normally a female, and you send them the food plan, and it's like, I can't eat that. I'm going to gain loads of weight. Oh my god,
Yeah,
there's so
yeah,
much
yeah.
food.
Mate, that's
And
so many times
yeah,
that happens.
and I'm like, just trust me. And so I've done it with previous clients, and I've like screenshotted like from other clients where they've checked in the week. Oh, I'm eating so much food, and I've lost weight, and I feel great, and it's
Yeah,
like
energy levels are through the roof. Yeah,
exactly less
like
isn't always more.
yeah, I've literally
But
just had a woman who's just come back on board with me online. Used to PT her in person, and I've sent her a food. She's like, I get to eat all that. I was like, yep. She's like, that's like 2,200 calories. I'm like, that's fine.
yeah,
That's what we need at the minute.
you're all
And then
good.
she's literally amazed at how much food she can eat. And I'm like, you're still going to lose weight doing that as well as
Yeah,
working out. And like you say, it's just mad that people think that the first thing they need to do is drop their food,
mm.
when in reality, you're usually not eating enough to fuel your body to get what you want out of it.
And you're also a lot of time people not eating enough nutritious food. Put it that way.
Yeah,
And don't get me
nutrient
wrong.
dense. Yeah, like you say,
Yeah,
like you can go eat croissant and a meal deal and stuff, but then you could turn around and have, chicken, mashed potatoes, broccoli, and things like that, which say a roast dinner, which actually the nutrient value in that is quite high compared to you having a sandwich and a bag of crisps. But you'll still get let's say roughly the same amount of calories out of it. If that's 500 calories, you're getting 500 calories, but you're getting a lot more nutrient dense food, which is your body's going to use in a lot better way.
yeah. And I think like don't get me wrong, I think so I've got clients who have like a calories allowance. So you might have all these meals and then you've got 200 or 300 calories to have what you want. So it's just trying to fine tune and find that balance of enough nutrition but enough flexibility to adhere because rule one is
Yeah, yeah,
adherence is rule one. Whatever
yeah,
you decide to do, stick to it. So if you've got this training plan off Google or whatever it is from your favorite influencer, stick to it for a period of time to see it work. When you chop and change your diet, chop and change your training, chop and change your cardio, it's hard to work out will it work or what's working.
yeah. I think the main word you're looking for there is just consistency.
Mm.
Being consistent is like, if you don't see a change in the first 2 weeks, don't be disheartened. It's consistency is what gets you the results. Like, motivation gets you started, but consistency will always get you the results. It's so cliche, but it's so fucking true.
It is true, and like you said, motivation doesn't last.
No,
We all
no. There's
start a
some
new
days you want
program.
to. Some days you just want to go to the gym. You're up for it. And other days you just think, I can't be arsed with this today.
For me, it's routine is king. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
discipline is fantastic, but I think for like average Jimmy, it's just that routine. I go to the gym Monday after work, and even you go into sometimes classes are really good because you've got that
yeah,
accountability of signing up. Sometimes a PT session, you've got all people around you doing it, or training with a training partner, and then you can kind
yeah,
of push people along with you. So it's nice to have that. You also have that community in the gym as well, and you have that group of people when you go to the same time, the gym at the same time,
yeah. You'll always
and
see
you
the
just,
same people. Yeah,
yeah. And even if you don't know them, it becomes a nod, it becomes a wave, it becomes a
and then
chat.
after a while, it becomes a hi.
Exactly,
How you doing? And then it becomes how's the family? Then it's
exactly. And
yeah,
then they say, oh, let's do something outside the gym, and then these are your pals for life once you're in that, that gym community. Okay, let's see what's next. Where should we go? Easy one. Why should people do cardio after training rather than, let's say, before? I think is what she means.
see, again, this for me, this is like person dependent and time dependent, and there's so many different variants that I would put into this.
Mm.
So for me, if somebody works, if they have a long job, and then they want to go to the gym and then do cardio, I would obviously always suggest work out first, because you're going to use the most energy. It's going to be the most taxing on the body. So I would always say do that first, do your cardio after. If you're not like us, where you'll do an hour's cardio And an hour cardio after a workout
An
isn't
hour
very good.
plus.
Yeah, I'm not at that point. But anyway, but like you say, it's you get your workout done, that takes an hour. Most people don't want to be there for another hour doing an hour's cardio. So if you're doing 15, 20 minutes, it's easy just to plonk onto the end of your workout. And by that time, you can go home, shower. And the last thing you want to do, I would say, is after you like before you've worked out, before you are about to lift weights, for me, doing cardio beforehand, I'm not going to have as much energy. And that would be my take on it. But again, it depends on the client. It depends on the person. We have guys, both of us who compete, they will do their cardio first thing in the morning, fasted, and then they'll have their training session later in the day. But again, it depends with like work commitments, family commitments. But ideally, I would say do it after you've trained.
Yeah, so like when I've got a very much a lifestyle client, I try to put the cardio after training because this way they only have to go to the gym once. They don't have to get sweaty in the morning and then sweat in the evening as well. So if you do cardio, like we have to do cardio in the morning, it's just another sweat session. But it just depends on the level of the athlete person. But like you said, it's all about in order to go forwards, most people are trying to either build muscle or lose fat while maintaining muscle. Training performance is really important. So we want to be as optimal as possible. So if we're doing half an hour on the stairs or longer even on the stairs before training, like you said, it's just going to take away from your weight session, which is actually what's keeping the muscle.
Keeping the muscle and burning the calories.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely. You got another one?
yeah, I got one more. Uh, does healthy eating or dieting always end up boring?
Oh, that's an easy one. No, definitely not. If
I agree
your
with that.
if your goal, it doesn't like there's so many ways to do it. My go-to, and I find the most results of my clients when they're on a meal plan. Um, but the meal plan is so flexible. It's like, what do you like to eat? Do you want bread? Have bread. Do you like pasta? Have pasta. Does it digest well? Do you enjoy it? Is it easy to prepare? Like I said about the calorie allowance, or I'm trying to think what people have: sandwiches, chicken sausages, bacon.
Literally, you can literally eat on as long as you're getting the calories that you need. Obviously, it's completely up to you whether you have a bunch of shit or you have nutritious food.
Mm.
My thing is, if you can try and get as much nutritious food in as possible, your meals are going to be bigger. So therefore, you're not going to be as hungry. I mean, but by all means, if you want to go and have a McDonald's for lunch and spend 500 calories on a McDonald's,
What's that?
do
A
it.
burger? That's a burger, not a lunch.
Right, but if they're having a burger for lunch, that's it. It's like I say,
Not the
it's
meal.
you can have that, and obviously,
Yeah.
as long as it fits within your plan, then there's so much flexibility
Mm.
with it. It's again, it's person dependent, and if you do want a burger, go and have a fucking burger.
Mm.
Not
So
going to
like
be the end of the world.
quite simply, you can do it if it fits your macros, which is where you work out your. Or you could just start if you're like from the bottom, just getting started, just hit it. I would start with a calorie allowance and a protein target,
Yep.
and where everything else falls. But with that, I always like to advise people to even with macro tracking, if it fits your macros, to try and work out your meals for the day before the day. Because what
Yeah, ahead
happens
of
is
time. Yeah.
people go to McDonald's for lunch, and that's fine. But you end up going home when you got, 20 grams of fat, 10 grams of carbs, and not enough protein to like make an actual real meal. So then you're like
Yeah, yeah.
scrambling, and you end up just going over. Whereas if in the morning or the day before, you put it all in, you work it all out, you adjust things here and there, then it's a lot easier to just stick to.
I mean, and then you can go down the whole boring route if you want. If you're a busy individual and it's easier for you to bulk cook food, then do it. But again, it's what fits your lifestyle best. If you've never done a diet before, I wouldn't suggest trying to do it because you ain't going to stick to it.
I
Like
think,
James says, I would work out your calories, give yourself a protein target, and then where everything else falls, it falls.
but even like you said, like most of the people who are, adults and stuff, like they're quite busy, kids, work, family, partners, or whatever else is going on. Most people are quite busy. So meal prep doesn't have to be boring. It just sounds boring because
No, you
you
could
see people
literally
online
just
doing chicken breast.
overcook your dinner,
Yeah,
make a bigger portions for dinner, and literally put that in a box. There's your lunch for the next day,
yeah.
and
Or you
it's
could do
there. Your
two,
lunch is already done.
3 days, and one, you save money, two, you save time, and it's just that much. Like you don't have to cook every day. It's just there ready for you. And like one thing, how often if you've got a meal in the fridge, like in a container, ready, 200 grams of rice and 100-gram chicken, whatever it is, how often are you gonna go? Oh, I'm gonna just chuck that in the bin. I'm gonna eat McDonald's. You're not gonna waste that. It's
Most
just
people don't just have chicken and rice in a container. That's
no. But
our.
let's say
I know
okay,
what you're saying. Let's say you've got like a chili con carne
meats.
in there, or a
Yeah,
lasagna, or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're not gonna chuck that in the bin and order something in. Right, so if you've got those things on a Sunday when most people have a quiet time, if you prepare some meals for the most majority of the week, you're more likely to stick to it. And again, you're saving money by not going to Tesco, not going to McDonald's, not going to wherever else people go to get food. It's been a while since I've been out of takeaway. So
yeah. Same here, mate. Same here. But again, and then the other thing is on a weekend, have something that you enjoy.
oh, let's go there. What do you mean?
Oh, mate. So, but what I would enjoy on a weekend, if I'm not on plan, what I would enjoy on a weekend for most people would sound boring. Like I like Turkish and Persian food, which is very clean. It's cooked over an open fire. That's usually with rice, and people are like that's pretty much what you eat every day.
But
But
do you
again,
mean
it's
do you mean a cheat meal?
yeah, for me, like I wouldn't. That's my version. I'd love that as a cheat meal. Yeah, I do like a Five Guys and fries as well, or a pizza or sushi. But again, it's treat yourself when you're sticking to a diet. Don't go. People say, "Oh, they have a cheat day."
Yeah, yeah,
It's not
yeah.
a cheat day.
Cheat week. It becomes a cheat weekend, and it's not
Yeah,
even it
and then
becomes
you
Friday,
end
Saturday,
up
Sunday.
yeah, and then you end up 7,000 calories over what you wanted, and you're
Yeah.
wondering what you haven't done anything that week.
But what
Have
do you
one
mean?
meal.
You have to elaborate. What do you mean 7,000 calories over?
So the whole point is, let's say you're in a calorie deficit for the whole week, 500 calories under for the whole week. It comes to Friday and Saturday. Friday night, you order a curry, you have rice, naan bread, chips. And then the next day, you think, oh, I can't be asked to cook. You order a pizza, you have a large pizza from Domino's. By that time, you equate all the calories that you've eaten there, that's your day, plus your other food that you've eaten that day. That equates to more calories than you should have been eating for the whole week.
Yeah.
And then therefore, you're not going to lose any weight. You're going to start gaining weight and you're going to be wondering why. Oh, they said I could have a cheat day. No, it's have a cheat meal. Enjoy yourself, but don't take the piss.
I don't call it a cheat meal anymore. I call it a free meal.
Yeah, I usually say like refeed,
Off plan.
get off
Yeah.
plans, an easier
Something
one for it.
because cheat meal has the idea that you have to cheat and you have to eat shit, but that's not what it's
Yeah,
about. It's just
where a
about
free meal, like you say, a free meal is
yeah, just a
it's
bit of
something that's not on
freedom.
plan.
Yeah. But your free meal sound fucking shit, mate. Like when I'm dieting or whatever, and someone goes, "Oh, do you fancy a Nando's?" I'm like, "No, do I fuck? Do I want to go into Nando's and have chicken and rice when I eat chicken and rice all day? No, thank you."
No, look, mate, until you've had, you know what? You can come up here. I'll take you for some Persian food. You'll understand the hype.
We'll
But
do it. We'll do it.
otherwise, we're going Five Guys. I'm getting like bacon double cheeseburger, fully loaded, large fries,
There we go.
milkshake.
There we go. The
Then
milkshake is the one.
yes, but they don't do the pistachio one no more. So that's
No, I'm not a pistachio fan. They got a
see,
new
everyone's on the
they
hype.
got a new
Everyone's on the hype
popcorn
now.
one.
I've been about it for years.
But they got a popcorn flavor now at Five
Oh,
Guys.
okay.
I didn't try it, but they got popcorn flavor. So that's
I was
on
about
your
to say you shouldn't be trying it.
no, no, not yet. I did get a Five Guys actually a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't push it to a milkshake
Ah,
because
fair enough.
digestion would probably fuck me up. So
Yeah.
yeah. And next, we only got a few minutes left.
Time for one more.
Yeah, let's jump in one quick one. Um, how to bulk on your own? Is that too big a question?
I mean,
Okay.
it's go on.
Why do you have a long training plan? Like, why do you stick to a training plan? Like we said earlier, why do you have to stick to it for 6, 8, 12, not even 6, let's say 12 weeks, 8 weeks minimum? Why do you have to stick to it?
For me, that's adaptation. Obviously, you need to put your body under enough stress for it to actually to start getting comfortable. Most people think, "Oh, my sessions got easy." It's the fact that they're not training to the optimum level. They're not training their hardest. Most people think, "Oh, yeah, you are training hard." When in fact, you get to them reps where it starts to burn. Most people stop. Where you've got an extra 4 or 5 there, and that's why you don't see that progression as quick as that you'd like, because you're not pushing yourself to your limit. You think you have a limit, but you've always got a little bit more in the tank. And this is where I think training with somebody is always a good tool, because they can push you that little bit more. You've always got that little safety net with you, whether it's like on chest, legs, anything like that. Or your friend comes in, they do 15 reps, and you think, right, I'm going to beat them, and you want to do 17 reps. And then the next time they want to do 19 reps.
Yeah.
And that way, then you push each other. The adaptations for the body are going to take longer. So by having somebody there, you're going to have them adaptations a lot quicker. So that would be my point on that.
See, for me, it's like the first couple of weeks, first 2, even 3 weeks, you're potentially learning a new movement pattern. So you're not going to be good at it. You're just learning. You're getting the fundamentals of the movement, a new squat variation, whatever. So you have to learn it, and then the next 5, 6, whatever weeks, you're just progressing. And like you said, we have to adapt over time. And if you keep progressing, like 5 weeks isn't a very long time on a plan because the first 3 weeks
Well,
you're not doing anything. All you're doing is setting baselines and getting your body used to this new stimulus.
and then I think also the other thing is obviously changing the stimulus over time. You could stay on the same program for more than 12 weeks, but let's say your tempo on lifts is completely different. After the next 12 weeks, you can slow the tempo down and you will not be lifting the same amount of weight that you were with a quicker tempo.
Definitely. But I feel like people get too caught up with the progressive overload because that's been spoken about lots on Instagram over the last few years.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like you just go to the gym and train as hard as you can. 1 week might not be as strong, might not, but you can still progressively overload with time under tension, improve form, improve reps, improve
Yeah,
weight,
there's so many
less rest.
so
Yeah.
many different variants to obviously progress through. You don't necessarily have to always throw more weight on the bar. You can obviously you can decrease rest periods. You can increase time under tension. There's so many different variants that you can use as tools, which then you can stay on a program longer, and you might like that program just because you have a lot of movements that you like.
But what I always go back to is, are you in the gym to progress your physique or how you feel, or are you there to just be entertained? So if you are there to be entertained, then cool, go through a training plan for every 2, 3 weeks. Doesn't matter. As long as you're going, you're going to get some sort of health benefits. But if you really want to adapt your physique, then you need to kind of stick through it, ride it out, and see where we go. But guys, that's a wrap. Episode 1 done. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and then we'll catch you next
See you
week.
on the next one.
Oh, jump back on. Click it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's close it and then boom.